Folks, the horrific shooting that took place in Butler, Pennsylvania should and must be condemned in the strongest possible terms. We must always condemn political violence. It has no place in our great democracy. I think it is also vital that we not be gaslit in a functioning democracy. I very clearly remember how Donald Trump responded when Nancy Pelosi's husband was almost killed, when Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, was the victim of an attempted murder. I remember what Donald Trump posted. I remember what Don Jr. posted. Do you? Because Donald Trump immediately reposted a QAnon meme. Trump posted, "Where we go one, we go all," reposting a QAnon account. QAnon is a death cult. Donald Trump's response right after Nancy Pelosi's husband was almost killed was to repost a death cult account to his extremist base. Donald Trump also posted the following: "I purposefully didn't comment on Nancy Pelosi's very weird story concerning her husband, but now I can because she said something about me with glee that was really quite vicious. I saw a scared puppy," she said as she watched me on television, "like millions of others that didn't see that. I wasn't scared. Nevertheless, how mean a thing to say. She is a wicked witch whose husband's journey from hell starts and finishes with her. She is a sick and demented psycho who will someday live in hell." Exclamation point. That's what Donald Trump said. Then Don Jr. posted the following: a photograph of underwear with a hammer on it. And Don Jr. said, "Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready," as Don Jr. and MAGA Republicans were intentionally spreading a vicious and false conspiracy that Nancy Pelosi's husband was in a homosexual relationship with the individual who tried to kill him, and that's why that all went down. They spread that conspiracy, and then Donald Trump talked about that at the various rallies that he went to. I want to compare that to the types of statements that were being made in the aftermath of the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. Former President Barack Obama writes, "There's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery." Former President Bill Clinton wrote, "Violence has no place in America, especially in our political process. Hillary and I are thankful that President Trump is safe, heartbroken for all those affected by the attack at today's rally in Pennsylvania, and grateful for the swift action of the United States Secret Service." President Biden wrote, "I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it." Mike Madrid wrote, "Be calm, don't spread disinformation, deep breath, calm," which I think are important words. Now, compare that to what Donald Trump said about Nancy Pelosi and what he continued to say at Nancy Pelosi at his rallies. Here, Donald Trump mocks the attempted murder of Nancy Pelosi's husband. Play the clip.
"We had no terror during my administration. The only terror we had was Nancy Pelosi, who's a crazed lunatic. She's a lunatic. She is a crazed lunatic. What the hell was going on with her husband? Let's not ask. Let's not ask. I'll withdraw that statement. By the way, she's got a wall around her house. Obviously, in that case, it didn't work very well, did it? It didn't work."
Just so you see that Donald Trump does this at a lot of his rallies. It's not a one-time thing. It's actually part of his stump speech to attack Nancy Pelosi's husband and Nancy Pelosi and mock the attempted murder of Nancy Pelosi's husband. Here's Trump doing it at another speech. Play the clip.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
The FBI has now identified the shooter in the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting, Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Individuals registered Republican, wearing the gear of a well-known Second Amendment, pro-Second Amendment, pro-unlimited gun rights group. He was wearing that on his shirt during the time of this shooting. Should also be noted that before Donald Trump took the stage, this is the message he sent to all of his supporters. It says the following. This is Trump's campaign email. All hell breaks loose in 1 hour. Trump rally alert. When I take the rally stage, I could be making a major announcement that's sure to strike fear into the hearts of our deep state enemies, it says. Do not miss it. The gear that was being worn by the shooter was Demolition Ranch gear. Group that has a view that there should be unlimited weapons of war proliferating. That's their interpretation of the Second Amendment. While I read for you the statements of some of the Democratic leaders who were not politicizing this in any way, the Republicans were very quick to politicize this. MAGA Republican Congressmember Mike Collins wrote, Joe Biden sent the orders. The Republican district attorney in Butler should immediately file charges against Biden for inciting the assassination. Ronnie Jackson, a MAGA Republican Congressmember, wrote, Trump deranged left-wing lunatics that parade around NBC and other fake news outlets demonizing Trump and calling him Hitler are directly responsible for this. And then you also got a comment from MAGA Republican Senator J.D. Vance, who wrote, today's not some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. Before the identity of the shooter was even announced, our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, wrote, this is pretty much where we are at. Authoritarians using the act of one lunatic they know nothing about right now for political power and gain. I thought it's important that I share for you the historical context, though. And I want to be very clear once again. We here at the MeidasTouch Network condemn in the strongest terms any form of political violence, period, full stop. Full stop. Anybody who engages in violence, attacks people physically, deserves the full force and effect of the law. They deserve to be brought to justice. That's what Law and Order is about. Hit subscribe. We'll give you more updates as we learn more.